As many of you know, especially if you're in the United States, all sorts of businesses have been closing, many of them not going to be able to open back up, and martial artists don't have a place to train anymore. And for a lot of us, our gyms and dojos are a big part of our lives and our communities, and that's very unfortunate, not just for the business owner, of course, but for the people who go there, all the people who are members of the place and part of the community. People very upset about these places closing, and we're going to talk about a solution that I have not seen any martial artists talk about, and it's not talked about much at all among anyone. I wonder why. Here we go. Pandemic crash shows worker co-ops are more resilient than traditional businesses. If you want to look at the article, it's in the comments below, so you can read it yourself. I'm going to read a little bit from it, not the whole thing. While we have no way to know yet the full extent of the economic fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic, by all accounts it could be as bad, if not far worse, than the 2008 crash. In fact, in terms of unemployment alone, the numbers are already staggering. More than 33 million jobs have been lost so far in the U.S. during the coronavirus shutdowns, compared to the roughly 8.6 million lost in the Great Recession of 2008. Following that crisis, many working people turned to the worker cooperative model as a way to build economic resiliency and stability for themselves. When business is tough, like now, a worker cooperative equitably shares the burden. That's the key. Kelly says that because worker co-ops share the benefits in the good times and the burdens in the hard times. This is the key. They are a more sustainable form of business, and the data agrees with them. One 2019 study found that worker cooperatives in the United States survived through their first 6 to 10 years at a rate 7% higher than traditional small businesses. And in 2012, research revealed that in France and Spain, worker cooperatives have been more resilient than conventional enterprises during the economic crisis that followed the 2008 crash. Another study of businesses in Uruguay from 1997 to 2009 demonstrated that the hazard of dissolution is 29% lower for worker-managed firms. In fact, as documented by the Sustainable Economies Law Center, there's a growing body of evidence that shows across the world cooperatives in general are a more resilient business model. So I just want to throw this idea out there of worker cooperatives in general, but also in the martial arts realm, because that's what I'm focused on here. And I think that's what, if you're watching this, you're a martial artist probably, and it's something you care about. Like, you don't want your gym to close down. If you run the gym, you don't want it to close down. It's like if the economy does bad for whatever reason, you don't want your life's work and life's passion to be dictated by these outside economic forces. One way to stay strong, to be resilient, more resilient in the face of possible economic damage and downturns, is look into this idea of worker cooperatives where the people who work and own the place, and you can also extend this to membership in some way, which I'll talk about perhaps in another video, is another idea, but at least the people who work in the place are co-owners of the place, and they share the burden and any losses, making it more likely to survive bad times. And then when there's good times, there's more co-ownership of the good things that happen. Basically, another added benefit is not just economic resiliency. It is when more people share the decision making in a place, you can have more of a community. And in martial arts, we like a good community. We like having a place that we go to and we share the burden and we reap the positive benefits together, and we learn together, and we work together, we work hard together. And if we really want a community, I think there's only so far you can go if you have a model where one person owns it and the rest of the people work for that person, and then the members just come and go, and don't have any stake in it. So if that's something you like and something that sounds interesting, I think the worker co-op model is not being talked about and is worth looking into and finding ways to implement. So that's all I have for this video. Thanks for tuning in.